I have run into someone that's using their home as an ATM. I'm actually here with Grammy Award-winning music producer Blake LaGrange. We're going to talk about why he's using his home as an ATM. Well, hello, Get Rich Education Nation. It's Keith Weinhold here. I'm here in San Diego with a Get Rich Education listener that's actually been on the show as a guest before, and he also just happens to be Grammy Award-winning music producer Blake LaGrange, as I'm here in San Diego. And you know what's interesting is Blake has effectively used his home as an ATM, something that a lot of people deem as sacrilegious, blasphemy. So Blake, tell us about why you would use your home as an ATM and how you did it with an example.
Well, first of all, thanks for coming to my hometown, San Diego. I love having you here. I think when most people think of your home as an ATM, that seems ludicrous or that's a horrible idea. But after listening to your show quite a bit, I've realized that if you've got equity in your home, use it. Don't let it sit there. So that's how I use my home as an ATM, using a home equity line of credit, basically.
Because equity from your home, it doesn't produce any income, and the best investors find a way to use passive income. So just tell us about the vehicle that you use to separate equity from your home, and then what you did with it.
So basically, because we've seen so much appreciation here in San Diego with the housing market, I was able to have quite a bit of equity in my home. Called up my bank. They gave me, a $100,000 line of credit that I can use like an ATM machine.
An HELOC, home equity line of credit,
right.
HELOC.
And so I use my home equity line of credit to I have a $100,000 available balance, and I'll go ahead and put 20% down payments on homes. So that's $20,000. Get 5 properties.
Yeah.
And basically do an equity transfer. Take the equity that's doing nothing, put it into homes that are cash flowing to where the tenant services all of my debt and I get to keep the cash flow. And what I end up doing is I take all of the cash flow, put it back to paying off the home equity line of credit so I can do it again.
And that works all day as long as the cash-on-cash return from your investment properties meets or exceeds the interest rate on your home equity line of credit. So you've effectively borrowed at a lower rate and invested at a higher rate, the difference being arbitrage. It's sort of the financially free beats debt-free notion. So yes, you've taken equity out of your home, but like you said, you've merely transferred it. Now you have your equity in multiple properties, and additionally, when you have your equities in multiple properties, that increases your cash flow, you've also taken on less risk in a sense, because now you have your money invested in different geographic markets. That's something a lot of people fail to consider.
Right, and I get to control more real estate, and if we believe that real estate will appreciate, which historically it has, you want to control as much as possible, as fast as possible. So this is a great tool to not only get cash flow, but also control up to $1 million of real estate just by, utilizing your home equity.
Is using your home as an ATM irresponsible? Well, it's really no different than if you take money out of an ATM. It depends on what you do with that money. Blake LaGrange, Grammy Award-winning music producer. Hey, it's been great hanging out with you here in San Diego. I love what you've done with the HELOC and helping it produce income from equity that was doing nothing in your home.
Well, thanks for coming to San Diego and for all the education that you provide.
Yeah, it's been great having you here.
Since 2014, the powerful Get Rich Education podcast has created more passive income for people than nearly any other show in the world. This show teaches you how to earn strong returns from passive real estate investing in the best markets without losing your time being a flipper or landlord. Show host Keith Weinhold writes for Forbes and delivers a new show every week. Since 2014, there's been millions of listener downloads in 188 world nations. He has A-list show guests include top-selling personal finance author Robert Kiyosaki. Get Rich Education can be heard on every podcast platform, plus it has its own dedicated Apple and Android listener phone apps. Build wealth on the go with the Get Rich Education podcast. Sign up now for the Get Rich Education podcast or visit GetRichEducation.com.